old apartment building stood tall and imposing, its brick facade weathered by time. Emily, a young woman with a thirst for adventure, wheeled her suitcase through the heavy wooden doors. The air inside was stale and thick with the scent of dust.
The third floor is unoccupied. It has been for years. Plumbing issues, you know.
As she signed the lease, she noticed his gaze lingering on the top floor. His evasiveness piqued her curiosity. Later, as Emily unpacked, she overheard whispers of strange noises and incidents on the third floor. It was said that anyone who dared to reside there was met with misfortune. Emily dismissed these stories as mere superstition, but as the week wore on, she couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched. She'd catch glimpses of shadows and hear faint creaks from the floor above. One stormy night, the power went out, plunging the entire building into darkness. Emily fumbled for her phone, its dim light providing little comfort. As she peered out her window, her eyes were drawn to the top floor. There, in the window of the supposedly vacant third floor, a single light flickered.
That's impossible. There's no one up there.
Curiosity warred with fear within her. It was clearly impossible. The third floor had no tenants, no electricity even, according to the building manager. Yet, there it was, a beacon in the night, beckoning her. Fueled by a mixture of apprehension and excitement, Emily decided to investigate. She grabbed her heaviest flashlight, its cold metal reassuring in her hand. Her heart pounded in her chest as she slowly climbed the stairs. The air grew colder with each step, sending a shiver down her spine. The hallway on the third floor was pitch black, the silence broken only by the sound of her own breathing. Emily inched forward, her flashlight beam dancing across the peeling wallpaper and dusty floorboards. She reached the door of the apartment with the flickering light, her hand hovering over the knob. Taking a deep breath, Emily pushed open the door. The apartment was shrouded in an eerie darkness, the only source of light the flickering bulb. It cast long, dancing shadows on the walls, making the room seem to breathe and shift. The air hung heavy, thick with the smell of decay and something ancient.
What happened here?
As her eyes adjusted, she saw remnants of furniture and forgotten belongings. A sudden noise, a soft whisper close to her ear, made her jump. She spun around, her flashlight beam cutting through the darkness, but she was alone.
Leave this place.
The air seemed to crackle with unseen energy, and she felt a cold breath on her neck. It was then that she saw it. A shadowy figure, tall and gaunt, lurking at the edge of her vision.
Who are you? The next morning, Emily, shaken but determined to find answers, confronted the building manager. Her words tumbled out in a rush, a mixture of fear and frustration.
His initial attempts to dismiss her concerns were met with her unwavering insistence. Finally, he relented, his face etched with a mixture of sadness and guilt. He told her about the fire decades ago that had ravaged the third floor. The flames had trapped several residents, their screams echoing through the night. The fire department arrived too late. The third floor was deemed unsafe, permanently sealed off. But the souls of those lost, he confessed, they never left. The building manager, racked with guilt for years, believed their restless spirits were the cause of the strange occurrences. He had kept the truth hidden, hoping to spare future tenants from the same fate. But Emily's encounter had forced him to confront the past.
Emily listened intently, her initial skepticism giving way to a chilling certainty. The whispers, the shadows, the figure she had seen. It all made sense now. She wasn't crazy. The third floor was indeed haunted, not by a malevolent entity, but by the lingering sorrow of those who had perished in the fire. Armed with this knowledge, Emily felt a strange sense of peace settle over her. The fear was still there, but it was tempered by a newfound understanding. These spirits were not there to harm her, she realized. They were trapped, seeking solace, perhaps even someone who could hear their cries. That night, Emily lay in bed, her mind racing. She couldn't shake off the image of the shadowy figure, the sound of the whispers echoing in her ears. She knew the truth now, but what did it mean for her? Would she be able to stay in the building knowing what she knew?
As she drifted off to sleep, she thought she heard her name being whispered, soft and mournful, just outside her door. Her eyes flew open. Silence. A floorboard creaked in the hallway. Her heart pounded in her chest. She sat up in bed, straining to hear. The doorknob rattled, then slowly it began to turn.
Emily?
Her breath caught in her throat as she waited, wondering what would happen next.